Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a little bit of a sit down chat talking through post-show. The video is also going to be in two parts because there was so many videos that didn't actually upload or cut out, so you'll see me change outfit partway through. But I am going to chat through my post-show feels and reflections and plans for the improvement season in this video. Ooh, just cracking open a Pepsi Max for this chat. Please ignore the state of the flat and the laundry behind me that I haven't put away yet. And the fact that the caffeine in this is going to keep me awake later. I'm sitting down to do this chat very impromptu. I've wanted to film this video for ages. Since I stepped off of stage, believe it or not. And I've already recorded this and deleted it. And now I'm recording it again. I'm basically going to chat through the post-show reflection. Why I decided to pull the plug on prep, because obviously if you've all been watching these videos, you know that there was a fourth show planned that would have been this previous weekend. I'm now 2.5 weeks post-show. So that final show would have been at the weekend, but I did pull the plug on prep, and I'm obviously going to talk through a little bit about that and just reflect on this prep. So I obviously did 3 shows this year. First one came second, and then the last 2 I won both of those shows. So very successful season. I'm very happy with that. I was definitely surprised with the wins. I think I didn't really enter the season thinking I was going to win anything, so that was awesome. I obviously did have it in my head, and I did plan to want to step on stage at the British finals, and I wanted to see kind of where I was in conjunction to winning a pro card. Now, I kind of knew I wasn't going to win a pro card this year. I kind of knew realistically I'm not ready. I'm not yet, you know, good enough, and that's not me putting myself down. That is me just being realistic. You do have to play the long game in this sport. I know my physique isn't yet good enough to turn pro. But I just wanted to see where I was in conjunction at a show that is a pro qualifier. That was my goal for this year. Obviously, I did not step on stage and do that show. So the reason why I decided not to do that show is because I already knew, really. I already knew where I was in relation to potentially turning pro. I knew I wasn't good enough. I knew I wasn't ready yet. I know that I probably need another 2 years. To be honest, another 2 years before I could even consider being in a pro qualifier, going for it, actually going for it and going, you know, this is the season that I'm chasing a pro card. I think I would be being delusional if I thought I could enter all of those pro qualifiers this year or even next year, to be honest. I do think 2 years, you know, I'm not saying 2 years before I turn pro, but 2 years before I actually say, right, this is what I'm going for. Reason being, I'm still quite small compared to, you know, pro bikini. I still need a bit more muscle. Being quite tall, 5'7.5", it's harder to gain shape. And that's just going to take time. You know, we can't rush that process. It's not a quick fix. That is just going to take time. And also, on top of that, I've had my most successful season that I've ever had. I've never ever won an open class before. I'd won as a junior, but I'd never won as an open. For anyone that doesn't know, so junior is 23 and under. Then you have masters, which is over 35. And then open is kind of everyone, but everyone that doesn't fit in junior and masters. So anyone can do open. If you're a junior, a master, whatever, you can enter open. But if you aren't a junior and you aren't a master, you're naturally in the open. So me being 25, I'm naturally in the open. So that is technically the hardest categories of the day, because it is literally going to be everyone and anyone that wants to compete against everyone in their height class. So I'd only ever won as a junior. I'd never ever won my just overall height class. So to get 2 wins was so unexpected and the best I'd ever done. So I was incredibly happy with the success of this season. So to sum up why I decided not to do the British finals, as much as it would have been an awesome experience to do a British finals and a pro qualifier, I already had the answer of what I needed in terms of, you know, once you see your stage shots and you see what you're looking like lean and you get some judges' feedback, you start to see kind of, you know, whether it's going to be possible or realistic or whatever. I already got my answer. I wasn't close. What's the point in doing a pro qualifier if you're not close, in my opinion? You know, I'm not going to jump into anything before I'm ready. And on top of that, I was already incredibly happy with all of my achievements. I didn't feel like I needed any more. I didn't need another, you know, placing. I didn't need another show. I was really, really happy with that. And then on top of that, I started to feel a little bit like the negatives of prep were going to outweigh the positives. What I mean by that is, for me to have bought an even better physique in another show, it just wouldn't have been possible in terms of how hard I had to grind for that last show and that level of conditioning for the last show. It wouldn't have been possible to grind any harder. Like, your calories can't go any lower at a certain point, and your cardio can't get any higher at a certain point. At some point, you are literally using all of your bullets in the gun. You are maxing out on all of your options. So if you are just not there, it's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen that year. Do you know what I mean? I still needed a little bit more conditioning throughout the glutes and hamstrings. I wasn't going to get that this year. It just wasn't going to happen. I'd maxed out my options. And so I would have just been maintaining the same physique, taking the same look to stage that I was, yes, happy with and had already been, you know, awarded for, but also wasn't going to be good enough to turn pro. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the decision that I made, and that was the reason why I decided to pull the plug. At first I was a little bit emotional about it because I felt like I did really set out this year to do a pro qualifier and I wanted to. I think maybe I was also a bit more emotional about it because I guess before you start a prep, like, deep down you have this idea of what you're going to look like or what you think you're going to look like on stage, and then when maybe it isn't quite as good as you thought, that kind of hurts. Not to say that I wasn't happy with my look. I was happy with my look. It was the best look I'd ever taken to stage. Obviously I placed well, I was very happy with it, but I think deep down there were certain things that I thought I had improved on more than I did. So then to see myself in stage condition and realise that actually, you know, you're further away from a pro card than you probably want to be, that hurt a little bit, I think. So to have that kind of sit down chat with myself and that realisation was a bit like necessary. It was necessary, but also a little bit emotional. And I think, yeah, like, even the first time I tried to record this video, I just didn't get my words out right, and I was like, I need to leave it a little bit more time to actually think about what I want to say and how I feel about it. But all in all, I am really at peace with the decision that I made, and so far my reverse diet has gone really, really well. My post-show phase has gone really, really well, and I am going to vlog, you know, the reverse, the off-season, all sorts of stuff like that. I am going to vlog it as well, so I will start doing that soon. But I am at peace with it. It was the right decision. Wasn't the decision I thought I was going to make, you know, a few months ago. But yeah, and I do hope that helps other people, because I think, you know, this sport is a marathon. We say it all the time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And, you know, we have to play the long game, especially when a prep, you know, we can't sugarcoat it. It's not the healthiest thing to do in the world. We can't just prep for no reason. We can't just prep, you know, off of a delusion of how well we're going to do when it's not true. You know, when actually it isn't the healthiest thing to do, and sometimes it is right to pull the plug even when you don't want to necessarily. And, you know, if you do want to do well in this sport, you do have to rinse and repeat the process. You have to rinse and repeat the process of preps and improvement seasons, getting the feedback, going from there, and you know, you have to keep going, and it might take longer than you think. It probably will take longer than you think, and that's also okay, because we enjoy the process, we love the entire journey, and that is a huge factor. But it is a marathon, it's not a sprint. I want longevity in this sport. I'm not going to prep for the sake of it. I'm not going to push it for the sake of it, and I hope that helps somebody else as well who feels like they're in a rush, or, you know, their gut feeling is telling them that their prep is done, but they keep pushing because they want this and this. But actually, be honest with yourself, be able to sit down with yourself every single time you step on stage, come off stage, reflect, let the emotions die down, get the feedback, look at the pictures. Is it worth continuing? Is it not? You know, have those conversations with yourself, because it does make a difference, and it will make a difference to the longevity in the sport as well. and your overall health, and I do highly encourage that. So what is the plan moving forward? So I'm currently 2.5 weeks post show. I only just got around to filming this properly. So 2.5 weeks post show into my reverse. I'm a few kilos up, we're eating a lot more food, we're training well, and basically the plan, so obviously I got judges' feedback from the last show, which was very, very positive, super, super supportive feedback. Basically, they said more condition throughout the glutes and hamstrings, which we already knew, which is always the way for every bikini girl. So yeah, already knew that, but they did say they were very complimentary on my overall structure, my genetic structure, and the potential that I have within this sport. So that was lovely to hear. It was motivating to hear. It was exciting to hear. And it just tells me that I'm not there yet, but I could be if I continue and I work hard, and so that is exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, to follow on from that, I'm going to gain 5 to 7 kilos or so, and then I'll be back into my official off season. From there, I'm going to be looking to gain some muscle in certain areas. So I will be looking to grow my glutes and hamstrings a little bit more. For those of you who have followed me on Instagram for a very long time, you'll know that there were certain preps in the past where I didn't train glutes and hams at all. Because they were way too overdeveloped for the rest of my physique, and I just had no muscle elsewhere. So there was some preps in the past where I've literally stayed away from glutes and hams entirely. It's not that I would necessarily say that I've lost a lot of muscle in those areas since. I'm just now a lot more balanced, so I can bring it back in. And also when you look at the bikini division over the last couple of years, the glutes have definitely been getting a bit bigger, for sure. Like before it was like their glutes aren't even that big, like they just look very rounded and it kind of complements overall look. Now these girls' glutes are big, you know, especially on that Olympia stage, like they are big glutes. So now I can like actually build them again, which will be fun because I haven't properly trained them in so long. I used to enjoy training them a lot. Obviously when I was a sprinter, they grew quite big naturally. So it'll be nice to add that back in. I'm excited for that. And then to continue to grow the delts. My delts are the hardest part of my body to grow. They're the slowest part of my body to grow. So I've just got to continue, obviously, growing those. So yeah, I feel like that sums up kind of how I feel post-show, why I decided to pull the plug, what my plan is moving forwards. And I hope that was helpful to any of you competitors or looking to compete. And I hope it was good advice. Like I said multiple times in this video, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Be realistic with yourself, know what you're currently looking like versus what the standard is, understand how long that process can take, and be patient. You know, most importantly, just be patient. Thank you so much for watching. I will be starting my off-season reverse improvement season vlogs. They will be coming. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everyone for all of the support throughout prep. It's been a whirlwind and it's been amazing to vlog it. I finally vlogged my first full prep and I was consistent with it, which I'm really, really happy with because I thought I was going to get lazy with it at some point. But yeah, thank you so much for getting this far, for supporting the journey, and I hope you all do continue to follow along throughout the off season. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode.